Red Sox celebrating the 1967 Boston Red Sox team this season, and Gordon Eads sat down with the one and only Carl Yastrzemski. Here's part one of his two-part interview.
Brewer winds. Here it comes. Fly ball to deep left. Yastrzemski is going hard. Way back. And he dives and makes a tremendous catch.
Starting spring training, 1967. Carl Yastrzemski, quote, "I was worried about being traded. When Mr. Yawkey and O'Connell signed me and said I wouldn't be traded, I stopped worrying. I'm in shape. I'll do well here." How concerned were you about being traded?
Well, my first 6 years here was kind of depressing. I thought about asking possibly to be traded. When you finish last or next to last, it makes it very difficult to play. It makes it very easy to play when you play with a good team because you have great players surrounding you. So you're not worrying about yourself as an individual. But my first 6 years, people used to just come to the ballpark and see what I do with the bat. And they didn't care about defensive plays or base running or things of that nature. But it all changed in '67. Now defense, a walk, anything that gets something started, fans would cheer. So it was a big difference in '67 from my first 6 years here.
You know, those first few years, the fans ragged you pretty good here. I mean, you were the guy who was supposed to replace Ted. All they cared about was the hitting. They booed you. They thought you dogged it at times. You put cotton in your ears one time and famously pulled it out in the middle of a game.
They might have changed them around.
Well, that's my question. Who changed, you or them?
I think they did. I think when I pulled the cotton out of my ears, that's when they changed. But there again, I think the fans were tired of losing.
Yeah.
They hadn't had a pennant since, what, 46 or whatever.
Right.
You know, even Ted's last couple of years, his last day here, how many people were in the stands?
Yeah. Less than a million.
Not too many.
Just over a million, yeah.
You know, and when you saw them flock into the ballpark in '67 when we became involved in the pennant race, it changed everything around.
You have a new manager, Dick Williams. He's not a stranger to you. You played with him. One of the first things he did was take away your captaincy, and a big deal was made out of that. But from what I read, you hated being captain. What's the truth of it?
I knew he was always going to be a manager because when he was in a dugout on a bench, he'd always come up to you and he'd say something, oh, this, and he was always managing then. But as it turned out, he was the right guy for the '67 team. As far as being a captain is concerned and stuff like that, I thought leadership on the field would automatically make you the captain. I'm only 26 years old. I want to concentrate on baseball, not worry about taking the lineup to home plate and being the captain and things like that.
Deep to right field. Number 44.
You know, George Scott said you hit 44 home runs that year. He said 43 of them made a difference in the game that you were playing that given night. You said you could sense as that year was going on that players were relying more on you and expecting more of you. How did you sense that, and did that put extra pressure on you?
No, it didn't. It didn't put any pressure on me. I think in '67 I kind of started slow. The guy that really helped me was Bobby Dorr. He said, don't change anything. He said, the weather's cold in April, the wind's blowing in. He said, stay with it, don't change. And I'll never forget that. Without his advice, I might have changed and maybe started going up to the middle. The total concentration that I had in '67 was a big part of it. The desire to win had a big part of it. I was so sick of losing. Wanted to win, win, win.
18 guys, Carl, that played for you that year were 25 years of age or younger.
Younger, right.
You were 27. You were one.
Yeah.
You were the grizzled veteran.
Yeah, I remember, and you have to take your hats off to the younger players to go through that pennant race. I think the one thing that probably helped them most was they didn't know about losing.
Yeah.
Whereas myself and a few other guys knew about losing, which is very difficult to take. But these guys were ready to go. And we became winners from then on. The whole organization became winners from '67 on.